Good morning, dear students. I am Ms. Vandana Pai. In today's lecture of the subject Relationship Management, we will be studying the ways of dealing with conflict in interpersonal relations. Okay, see, in the last lecture, we have gone through the causes of such type of conflicts. Okay, means what are the different things, or what are the different ways through which the two parties or two or more persons they can enter into conflict or conflicting phase. Okay, and in today's lecture we will be going through the ways or the means or measures through which or the rules through which we can successfully deal with the conflict, or we can overcome the conflict, so that we ensure the productivity as well as a smoothness or soundness into our organization. So let's see what are the different ways with which we can effectively deal with the conflict in interpersonal relations. Okay, see, there are different ways through which we can successfully deal with such type of conflicts. Okay, what are the different types? Let's see, ways to deal with conflict can be based on 7 points, or through this 7 rules itself we can successfully handle conflict in interpersonal relations. Okay, first one is acknowledge the conflict. Okay, see, prior to this, what is interpersonal conflict? Interpersonal conflict happens between two or more people. Okay, two or more people, if they have different viewpoints. Okay, for example, there is an issue raised before them. There is an issue raised before them. Okay, and as we all know, our behavior pattern, our perception, okay, our viewpoint to look at the things, okay, the our viewpoint to see at a particular thing, okay, it is quite different, right? Okay, due to this many of the time, okay, if a issue is raised in the organization or at the workplace, okay, then so many people, or if two or more people, they are concerned with the issue, and they are, or they have been asked for some of the suggestions. Okay, what happens, up to a certain limit, or after a up to a certain time duration, okay, both the parties or two or three parties who are involved or who are concerned with the issues, what they do, yes, soundly or softly they deal with that issue. But after a duration of time, what happens, okay, all these three or two or more people towards this issue, okay, they express their thoughts, they express their viewpoints. Okay, and each one towards this issue, they want to prove their point, or they want to they want to influence other with their issues or with their viewpoints. Okay, whenever, okay, the people working at the same levels, okay, same levels, they become aggressive. Okay, they want to influence other person. Okay, they want to force other person to follow whatsoever they want to say. Okay, here here what is inevitable, that is conflict. Okay, so most people, okay, what happens, okay, most of the people, okay, whenever they are communicating, okay, whenever they are communicating, if they want to prove their way as the right way, okay, they have to deal with the conflict. Okay, now if a conflict is prolonged, if a conflict is prolonged between okay, between two or more persons into the workplace, what happens is, okay, it does badly affect the work environment. So the first and foremost thing what you should be doing, okay, when you think that you are entering into conflict, or just you have gone through the conflict, okay, the thing which you should be doing is, yes, to deal with it or how to resolve it. Okay, you should be always looking after, okay, right from the cause of such type of conflict till how you can completely resolve such type of conflict. Okay, because yes, you don't want to get your environment, work environment affected due to this, because many of the time what happens, if the conflict it is stretched, okay, if the conflict is stretched for long period of time, okay, it results into miscommunication, it results into poor productivity, okay, or and it badly affects your organization's goals. Okay, so whenever we consider all these things at the time, yes, you should keenly look after, okay, whether you have just gone through any conflict, okay, and if you have gone through any conflict, then successfully you should be dealing with it. Okay, so whenever we think about such type of interpersonal issue, okay, the issue might be anything. Okay, it might be related to your work, it might be something which is due to your work, okay, or you might have done some activity which you were thinking it is good, but the other person who is observing you, maybe your superior, maybe your colleague, or maybe your subordinate, okay, those people who are observing you, they might think that it is wrong. Okay, and many of the time, okay, whenever you are conducting such type of activities, if they poke you, okay, if they, okay, interrupt you while continuing that activity, yes, what you do is just you enter into conflict, right? Okay, so if you think that you have gone through some such type of conflict and you want to yes, you want to save the relations with those people, okay, what you can do is, first of all, you should acknowledge the conflict. Yes, you should acknowledge the conflict. Okay, what is acknowledge? Yes, acknowledge means just to recognize, okay, just to admit. Okay, see, whenever, okay, you think that there was a issue, okay, which was not successfully dealt by you, or you had a careless nature while dealing with a person, maybe your superior, colleague, or the subordinate. Okay, whenever you were dealing with that person, whenever you were communicating with that person, okay, there was an issue which was not handled by you in a good manner, or it might have affected the other person. Okay, when you think in this way, okay, first of all, yes, admit it, is it, recognize it, what was the problem and all. Okay, the first step in solving any problem is, yes, acknowledging that there is a problem. Okay, the longer you bury your head in the sand and pretend there isn't conflict, the worse it will be. Okay, see, unless you recognize that there was a conflict, unless you recognize that there was an issue, okay, which resulted into conflict, okay, you have just gone through any conflict, okay, unless until you realize this, unless until you admit this, or unless until you know this thing, okay, and if you ignore this, surely it will have bad effect or negative effects on your performance as well as organization's health. Okay, so first of all, okay, you should be carefully looking at all the things. Okay, and if you are not prompt at that moment, okay, if while communicating with the other person, okay, in the workplace, okay, if you didn't realize at that moment itself that something was wrong, is it, okay, after some period, whenever you rethink on the issue, okay, at the time, keenly you should study the issue. Okay, what I have gone through, okay, this thing you should be always thinking about. Okay, then be open and honest with yourself. okay, whether from your part you have contributed towards conflict or the other party was wrong. Okay, see, many of the time what happens, okay, we think that okay, we are not wrong, okay, the other person is wrong, right? Is it? But okay, here whenever it comes to conflict at workplace, or whenever it comes to conflict within the interpersonal relations, okay, first and foremost thing what you should be doing is, okay, evaluate, be honest, okay, from your part, okay, and see or check whether you have contributed for any conflict. Is it? If you have not contributed towards the conflict, then it is good, okay, but if you have contributed towards conflict, yes, you should see the angles, okay, from your side. And yes, what you can do is, yes, you should try towards resolving such type of conflict, okay. So first of all, admit or realize whether it was a conflict, okay, and if it is conflict, then yes, you should always, okay, check from your viewpoint, okay, first of all, whether you were wrong, check it, okay. If you are wrong, then you should be trying for resolving such type of conflict. Is it? Okay. Second thing is, open up the lines of communication. Open up the lines of communication. What is this all about? Okay, see, think on this issue, okay. Open up the lines of communication, what it means, okay. Once you realize that, okay, who was wrong, or whether you were wrong from your viewpoint, yes, reach to other person or other okay, people, okay, with whom, yes, with whom you just had a conflict. Yes, okay, what you should be doing here, yes, you can, yes, you can approach the other person with whom you have entered into the conflict. Yes, okay, then what you should be doing, after that, okay, open up in the sense, okay, try to communicate related to the conflict, okay, try to communicate related to the conflict, okay, means try to prove your viewpoint, okay, try to prove in the sense, disclose your viewpoint, okay. Then, okay, for this, prior to actually communicating with that person, you can share it with your team also, okay, you can share it with your team also, okay. See, into the organization you might be having a good team, you might be having some people with whom you can open up such type of issue, okay, share your issue, okay, get their suggestions, recommendations, okay, for such things, okay. Then directly contact that person with whom you just had a conflict, okay, and try to try to clear up your viewpoint, your side with that person, because yes, you want to save such type of interpersonal relations, right? Okay, so for that you should open up your side, okay. Then focus on the problem, not the other person. Okay, see, whenever okay, you want to resolve the conflict, okay, if you want to save the interpersonal relations, okay, what was the problem through which it resulted into conflict, okay, go at the root cause of such type of conflict, not, okay, not you should be focusing on the other person with whom you have entered into conflict, okay. So first of all, okay, don't, first don't take it personally, then Okay, try to focus on the problem, not the person. Okay, try to focus on the problem, not on the person. Why? Okay, many of the time what happens, okay, if prior to this, in 2 or 3 incidents, if the same person had blamed you, or the same person, okay, if you had entered into conflict with the same person for 2 or 3 times, okay, after a due course of time, what happens, if the person, okay, commits something which is good for you, still how you will be thinking? Yes, you will be thinking that this person is doing wrong for me. Is it right? Okay, so focus on the problem. What was the problem? Okay, what was the issue? Not on the other person. Okay. So, okay, here your objective should be to get rid of the problem, not get out of the or get rid of the other person. Okay, if you think that the interpersonal relations should be strong, okay, what you should be doing is, okay, first of all, you should, yes, focus on the problem. What is the problem? See to the root cause of it. Okay, and try to, yes, do somewhat research into it. Okay, so that it will be easier for you to get out of the problem. Okay, then stick to the facts. Okay, stick to the facts means what was your viewpoint related to that issue. Okay, what was your viewpoint related to it? Okay, see to it. Okay, means what happens, see, many of the times, okay, see, two people, why they enter into conflict? Okay, because they have their different viewpoints. Okay, they do have their different viewpoints. Okay, the first party might be thinking differently, the other party might be thinking differently, right? Okay, both of them what they want to do is, they want to prove their viewpoint, they want to share their viewpoint, and they want to, okay, make their viewpoint to win. Okay, so aggressively, strongly, they put or they raise their viewpoint before other person. Okay, and same thing, okay, if the other person has the same type of behavior pattern, okay, they will also aggressively put their viewpoint. Is it, they do want to win over this discussion. Okay, so they also prove their viewpoint. Okay, so here in this ground way, in this ground rule, what you are required to do, okay, what are the actual facts? Okay, what is the actual fact? Okay, focus on the fact. Okay, focus on the fact. Okay, first what you can do, yes, you can see to it that what is the reason of such type of conflict, what is the issue of such type of conflict, have a proper knowledge about that conflict or that issue on which you are discussing, and then share your viewpoint. Is it, if after proper studying, if you share your viewpoint, then surely the other person will also accept it. Okay, as you want to communicate it with that person or share it with that person. Okay, or else what happens, okay, if you have improper knowledge related to it, if you have improper knowledge related to it, and still aggressively you want to share or you want to prove your viewpoint, then what will happen? Yes, surely it will badly affect your communication, right? And there will be quite a conflicting phase then. Is it? Okay, then meet face to face. Okay, see, just you have gone through a conflict, okay, and you just realize that it was a conflict. Okay, now what you want to do, what you need to do? Yes, approach that person for the second time. Approach that person for the second time and meet with that person face to face. Okay, meet with that person face to face. Okay, due to this, what will happen? Okay, what will happen due to this? Yes, okay, see, you will get a kind of confidence, okay, to settle or resolve such type of conflict. Okay, see, approach that person with whom just you have gone through a conflict. Okay, just you have entered into a conflict. Okay, then what you are supposed to do? Yes, just, okay, you try to communicate with that person. Okay, you try to communicate with that person, you try to share your views related to that. Okay, so that it will be easier for you to, yes, to overcome the conflict which has been arise between you and that person. Okay, then pick up your battles means what? Or pick your battles means what? Okay, see, what was the conflict? Okay, and what was the reason? Okay, restart that conflict. Okay, restart that conflict. Okay, so that you can clearly share your viewpoint. Okay, now here, after a duration, after a pause, whenever you restart a conflict, what will happen? Okay, if the other party is wrong or if you are wrong, okay, then the person who is wrong, they may realize their part was wrong, or their issue was wrong, or their viewpoint was wrong, and what they will do is, yes, they can apologize, or they can feel guilty through this, and they can, yes, they can communicate with other person, and they can try to resolve such type of conflict. Okay, then make a decision and act on it. Okay, see, if you want to resolve the conflict, yes, you can bring the situation to norming stage. Okay, how you can do this? Yes, you can use any of the strategy, win-win strategy. Okay, you can accept some 50% part of the person with whom you have entered into the conflict. Okay, and you can ask the other person to accept 50% of your viewpoint. Okay, by combining this, you can enter into a norming stage. Okay, or you can, what you can do is, you can compromise. Okay, you can, okay, discuss on that issue, and you can, yes, finalize the decision which will be benefiting both you as well as that person. Okay, so in this way you can successfully deal with the conflicts in interpersonal relations. Okay, if you want to save, okay, if you want to resolve such type of conflict, then surely you should accept all these ways in a proper way. Okay, so that it will be easier for you to, yes, cover up the interpersonal conflict in which you have entered into. Okay, so with this we conclude today's lecture. Thank you.